So, is your patent application going to be a never-ending black hole of money? This is a natural concern people have, especially with patents. And the answer is no, it's not going to be a never-ending black hole of money. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end to the process. And so that's one thing. And as far as actually having some concrete idea of how much you can expect to invest, that's what I'm doing this video. So for one thing, it depends on what you need. So everyone's doing things for different reasons, and some people file patent applications without the intent to actually get a patent. Some people want the patent for different reasons. They want to get a patent granted, but they don't want to get a patent for the reasons that someone else might want to get a patent. So we always start with really meeting with you and talking strategy, like why are you trying to get a patent? What do you need it to do for you? So that we can focus the work on that. That's very, very important. And any patent lawyer that you have working for you should be actually asking you, what do you need the patent to accomplish for you? Because otherwise they're going to be making assumptions about why you're doing what you're doing, and that might not end up giving you what you need. So that's one thing I wanted to say. The cost does depend on what you need and what your invention is, of course. That said, the other thing to keep in mind is that you get what you pay for. So I tell people to expect to pay at least $10,000 to get a patent application filed, and to expect to spend another 10 to 20 at least over the course of the prosecution to get it granted. So with patents, there's a process, there's a beginning, that's prior art research, getting it filed, and then a middle, what we call the prosecution phase, where there's office actions, where you're sort of negotiating with the examiner. And there are other things that can happen in there. It can split into two and have children, et cetera. And then there's a process at the end where you have the opportunity to keep the family alive, and we often recommend filing another application to do that. Again, it depends on what your goals are. And then there's an issue fee that gets paid at the end. So usually the end is not, usually the bigger expense is at the beginning, and there might be some things in the middle as well, especially if it's really, there's a lot of pushback. That's why expect to spend, 10 to 15 at least, 10 to 20 even, to get it granted, another 10 to 20, to get it filed, and another 10 to 20 to get it granted. If we operate, and a lot of other firms operate, on flat fees. So once we know your project, we can give you flat fee quotes for the different pieces. We can't really give you a flat fee quote for the entire thing because we don't know what is going to transpire and what you're going to want to do in the future. So this is something that takes, unless you're fast tracking it, it could take 2 to 3 years, and a lot can happen. To you, like your priorities might change. So, but we do give flat fee quotes when we are working with someone. Once we know what you want and we're looking at your invention, we will give you flat fee quotes. So hopefully that's helpful and gives you some peace of mind. I will also say, if it's not worth $40,000 to get a patent on your invention, let's talk about some other things that we can do to create a barrier to competition. You don't want to plan to start a patent unless you really intend to go through with it. And I would say also, for most people, it's probably not a great idea to try to get the cheapest patent you can get, because what's likely to happen is you'll spend at least $4,000 or $5,000, and you will end up with something that's completely worthless. So, when you need it to work for you, it won't work, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm defining as worthless. So, so beware of spending too little, because what that means is that you're sort of getting a fast slapdash, something that that has a certificate but doesn't necessarily give you the protection you need. If it does, you're lucky. Anyway, I hope that helps. And again, Catherine Cavella, IP Works Law. Thanks so much.